Welcome to He's Been Doing It All Day. We're Adam and Simon. This episode is brought to you by the Carlton Draft. Check them out at carltondraftshirts.com. Check us out on YouTube. Just search for He's Been Doing It All Day and check us out on Instagram at Been Doing It All Day. All right, time for round 9.
Bulldogs versus the Tigers. Game 1 of the Festival of Footy was built to be bigger than Ben-Hur, but all we got was a clinical display from a team that's there against a team that's not quite there yet. Impressive? Sure. Exciting? Not really. The Tigers were dominant early before absolutely coasting for the entire last half. Dusty is well and truly back, which brought out the Dusty for Brownlow hot takes, and they were flooding in like a damn wall had broken. The Doggies will be happy to write this one off, move on to the next game, Richmond by 41.
Melbourne versus Port Adelaide. Much like me in the dating game as a teenager, Melbourne were never in it. It was an ugly performance from the Ds. In fact, I've seen a better kicking performance at an under-9s taekwondo competition. The galloping Greek Mitch Georgiadis doesn't kick snags, he kicks gyros, and he bagged 3 of the greasy lamb and chip-filled wraps, but he could have easily had enough to satisfy the family at Yaya's birthday. In the end, Port's score increased like Victoria's COVID number, and it's probably time Melbourne went into a curfew like the rest of us. These games after 7 p.m. are no good for them. Port rolled to a 51-point win.
Blues versus the Hawks. Well, what do we have here? The Hawkies turned back the clock and Carlton went full Carlton for the 4th time this year. Baggers supporters were up and about again in the first quarter. Imagine Cooter walking down Lygon Street with no top on. That's how up and about they were. But by half-time, they were nothing but a mere shadow, like a dropped kebab. Will Day kicked his first goal for the Hawks and made it an absolute dog's breakfast, but it went through and there's no pictures on the scorecard. Darren Jarman Impey returned after an ACL rehab, and Alistair Clarkson didn't look like he was about to sacrifice someone from the media after the game, and the media looked mildly disappointed they couldn't put the boots into a bloke clearly struggling to keep his job. Hawks by 31.
Brisbane versus Essendon. This match was probably best watched with earplugs in because of the amount of whinging about the umpires from all Essendon fans. I know I say it every week, but it's surprising that no one can touch Lachie Neale. After all, he's being weighed down by this year's Brownlow already hanging around his neck. 33-2 for him. Principal Sam Skinner played his first game in 3 years in 1 day and slotted one to cause a death metal mosh pit from the Lions. Charlie had the Harley revved up 4 times in the night, which means he kicked more goals than the entire Essendon team by himself. Mitch Robinson got angry at the umps himself and sent his mouthguard further than we're allowed to travel from home at the moment, and the Lions brought the Bombers back to earth by 63 points.
Kangaroos versus the Crows. The story was the Majak Man, Majak Door, and it can't be understated what this bloke has been through to get back to the AFL. His next biggest hurdle he faces is to teach his coach that he's actually a backman, so leave him in the back line. He's not a ruckman, he's not a forward. They tried for 6 years, he's a backman, and he's one of the league's best, so leave him there. Luke McDonald had a farm, and on that farm he had posies. Heaps of posies. 35 posies. He was playing kick to kick against the opposition, except when they'd kick it to him, he'd just kick it to his mates and they'd be left to cry. At this stage, Adelaide might be better playing with actual crows, like the bird. I've seen documentaries and those birds are smart. I've seen him skiing and like going through the bins and stuff, so that might be a better option for Adelaide next week. The Kangaroos kicked the biggest score in the competition with 119. The Kangas win, 69 points. Nice.
Saint Sydney. Watching this game had me question whether 20 days straight of footy was a good thing for me. It was kind of like ordering a cheeseburger on the side of your large Big Mac meal. Great idea at the time, but you do feel a little bit dirty after you finish it. Dane Rampy looked like he'd just come from a Michael Jackson tribute concert with a bejeweled right-hand glove, and Jake Carlisle clearly wasn't a fan of his performance of Billie Jean, so he tried to whack said glove in the scuffle. Nick Lookout behind you kicked 3, and the King snagged 3 of his own as well. Saints into the top 4, and they do it in a canter by 53 points.
Cats versus the Eagles. First things first, this game was awesome. Like, footy awesome. Match of the season so far, and it's rumoured that Michelangelo's been resurrected and the Pope's asked him to repaint the Sistine Chapel with a picture of Nick Nat at the top of his ruck leap, winning the tap down to Luke Shuey running at full speed. Zach Tui's new helped get the Hoops out to a 3-goal lead at halftime, and the Eagles were hanging on by the skin of their beaks. Reminiscent of the 2018 Grand Final, though, they weathered the storm and reeled the Cats in like Paddy Dangerfield pulls in a fresh flatty from Moggs Creek. Josh Kennedy looked like a hungry hippo, roving one better than primetime Phil Matera. His 4 goals were enough to roll the Cats as the Eagles get their 5th in a row. Eagles by 9 points.
Suns versus Giants. To be honest, there wasn't much to comment on in this game. I guess Toby Green going down with a hamstring in the first quarter, which is worrying for the opposition supporters, because who are they going to hate the most in the league now? The Suns didn't look like winning. The Giants didn't look like losing. They probably should have just done the coin toss, shook hands, and went back into the sheds. Sex Machine didn't even kick one. Lockie had a Whitfield day with 27 touches. Cameron slotted a couple, and we all went our merry way at the final siren. Giants win by heaps. And our final game, the Dockers versus the Pies, because we all know we love live footy updates on a Monday. At the moment, the Dockers are leading 4-1-25 to 3-5-23. Who's going to win, Simon?
Go the Dockers.
Up the
Go the Dockers.
All right, that's it for round 9.
Boys, I know we talked last week briefly about the Crows, but the Crows are bad, man. They're bad.
They've been bad for a long time.
No, but they're like North Melbourne is second bottom from the ladder, and they won by 70 points.
They waxed it.
Like, you're 70 points behind the next best team, who aren't that good.
Are they going to win a game?
Do you think...
Do
you reckon they'll win a game?
Who are they going to beat?
Exactly.
The D's?
They play them this week.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Wednesday night.
Yeah. Far out. The D's would have to have a stinker. I was going into this game very, very nervous.
No.
Because it's kind of like, oh, you don't want to be that team that loses to Adelaide. I mean, they almost rolled the Bombers last week. Bro, they're not good at football.
Yeah.
But they just... So what they did, the whole game, they just played one-on-one. But it was like, I'm going to look after my guy, and if my guy gets no touches, great. But, there were people running directly behind other people, and they wouldn't turn around to tackle them. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Have you seen the footage of Matthew Nicks in the rooms at halftime, and he got him to stand up like they were Oz kickers, and he was moving Powerade bottles around where, and it was like, where should you be at the moment? And a guy went up, I think Brodie Smith went up and picked up a bottle and moved it to the right spot.
Man, you got to do what you got to do. That's where they're at.
Yikes.
Do you know what was back? My hot take, my spicy take for this week is footy's back. Teams were scoring again. It wasn't just the Roos that put up nearly 20 goals. The Saints topped 100. The Richmond got to 90. There are few of the margins. There was 41, 51, 63, 69, 53. Teams got spanked this week.
Do you think it's because people are tired? They're kind of just a bit over the hubs, and they're just the bad teams are playing bad and the good teams are pumping them now.
I reckon this is going to happen towards the end of this year a lot. Because can you imagine being a team now? Everyone at the moment is still in it. Can you imagine being a team that's 3-7? You've been on the road for 8 weeks, living with all your teammates, and you can't make finals, you can't do anything, and you're just looking around I just want to go home, and we've got to keep playing these games away from home, and I'm sick of it. I reckon teams are going to tank so hard.
I just picture at some point it's going to turn into the 4th day of Mykonos. You're knackered, you've been having the best time with your mates, but I tell you who you can't be bothered seeing? Your mate Jono, who's oh, come on guys, let's, piss off, all right? I'm sick of you. I don't want to kick the footy to you. I'm done with you. Leave me alone. I'm off here.
Oh, Freo just kicked another goal.
Freo kicked another goal. There you go. Your live updates. Here we go. He's been doing it all day for the live updates. I'll tell you what, though. If Adelaide are bad, West Coast may not lose another game.
This is my spicy take. What happens, I think the granny should be in Perth, at Perth Stadium, hopefully. Maybe not, whatever. If it's there, if West Coast is still flying, They're red hot favourites. If they win the flag, they've won 2 of the last 3 flags. How...
Mate,
Is it going to feel like we're living in a world where West Coast have won 2 of the last 3 flags? Like, that's wild. It will have gone Richmond, West Coast, Richmond, West Coast.
That's bad.
That's wild. That's wild.
That's not a good world to live in. No one wants to live in that
It'd
world.
be so weird.
Do you think, Justin, do you think that Port are the real deal?
I think they're a good team. I don't think you have to be super duper to win it this year. You haven't need to be super to win it for the last 3 or 4 years, I don't reckon. Port are good. They're not outrageously good. They could win it, but if the granny's not going to be in Adelaide, it's going to make it pretty hard for them. They'll fall off a bit of a cliff soon, I reckon, but they're going to be a good team for a few years, but whether they're the best team this year, I don't know.
On the back of that, Adam, GWS, Toby Green's just cooked his hammy. Are they done?
Nah, I don't think the Giants are done yet. They're since putting Josh Kelly in the centre, I reckon that they are well and truly back. And now I'm back on what Justin was saying about where the grand final should be. Even as a Lions supporter, I don't think you can have the Gabba as the grand final venue with 38,000. I think it has to go to, if they're playing games in Perth where there's 60,000 people can be at the game, I'm just about the most amount of people that can be there at any one time.
It looks awesome.
That Perth
Perth
ground is
there.
It's genuinely sick, that Perth ground, when they have, that West Coast Geelong game last night, when it looks even a little full, and this sounds so good. It's
26.
It's a big game, big game ground. I reckon it's a good place for a granny.
They only had 26,000 there, and it looked sick.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It looks
The
full.
place was jumping. And Adam, your girlfriend made the really good observation that are there any other supporters that wear more club merchandise than West Coast supporters?
And they love, their favourite piece of merch is a polo. Yeah. They love the blue polo and a hat. But they'll also wear a blue polo and a hat and a scarf. They've just got everything on there.
That is so funny.
All right, up next we speak to Jay Lockhart from the D's. Stick around for that. Today's guest, Syme, is Jay Lockhart from the Melbourne Demons. He wears the highly prized number 41. Welcome along, Jay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, it wasn't the best game on the weekend. Let's just get that out of the way first.
It definitely wasn't. We put that in the bin straight away. That one. We didn't do too many edits about it. Probably didn't turn up, to be honest, which is pretty unfortunate, as we come off a loss to Brisbane, but we showed a little bit and come off 2 wins before that. So that one's gone in the bin, and pretty positive week this week to get back to playing the Melbourne way.
Mate, are you pumped that this week you get to play Adelaide? It's just kind of, you get a bit of a free swing this week, you know? It's like, all right, good. We're back playing footy. We just, go against the Oz kickers. We're all good.
Well, I don't know if it's quite going to be like that, but look, we're just having a positive week, training the way we want to play, and hopefully we can get a result. I think we're 3 and 5. Badly need to get on a bit of a win streak, I think.
Now, we wanted to ask you as well, Jay, have any of the boys given Stephen May a bit of stick about him just walking out of the goal square whenever he's got the kick in, just to beef up the stats a bit?
Well, I want to bring this up with him, to be honest, because I'm battling away, struggling to get 4 kicks a game, and most games we're getting scored against, and he's waltzing out of the goal square. And what did he have on the weekend? Another 20 probably. So,
exactly. The mate, he's praying for behinds.
He deliberately just walks back to the goal square and throws his hand up. I've got it. And he's racking him up at the moment. I'm seeing it as well.
Mate, don't worry, because we've got the solution for you. All you need to do is just hang on the outside of Clayton Oliver, because he's never kicking it. He's always looking for the hands. So if you just if you just hang around him, let's say he's one of those big sharks, you can be one of the fish that follow him around, and then you just You just get the little hands and bang, that's a kick. He's getting 15 handballs a game, 20 kicks for you. You guys would be like, it'd look like the Cracker Brothers again.
That is very good. Either that or I'll turn into a left footer and I might get some kicking out duties. That's all. I have an alternative myself.
And
we use left footers out of kick-outs, and unfortunately, I'm not a left footer, so can't have that one.
And Clayton Oliver, on him again. How happy is he that Matty Rowell has come into the league so he's no longer compared to Cameron Ling?
Yeah, he's if you follow him on Instagram or Facebook, I'm not sure what it is, but he actually has stolen Matt Rowell's head and put it on his body as his profile picture. So that just says it all. He's absolutely stoked that he doesn't get compared to Cameron Ling anymore.
Stoked. That's a win for the Redheads, I reckon. Hey,
no, it is.
mate, how long do you reckon Jakey Lever's going to keep the stash for? Do you reckon that's a lifetime situation?
I reckon it is. He's pretty proud of it. Pretty thick and bushy now. I think he's going to keep it for a long time until his kid maybe. He just recently had a baby, so until young Jace gets a little bit older, and he might start looking like a bit of a creep. So he might have to get rid of that when his little one gets a bit older. I think.
Now, was there much sledging on the ground from the Power? Is there a noted, like I imagine that Robbie Gray would be given a little bit. Is anyone else out there given a bit of lip?
There wasn't too much. The young fellas from Port always seemed to like the lip, so that was pretty fun. We had a bit of fun out there. That's probably the only bit of fun we kind of had on the weekend or last Thursday. A few of the younger guys, second years, I think, for Port, they seem to like the lip a bit.
Mate, I've got to ask, we are actually 100, we are both, I've got your stats listed here. You are listed at 177 centimetres, which is the height of the average man. I am also 177 centimetres. So it's less of a question, and I just want to say thanks, mate. Thanks for doing it for the under 6 footers, showing that, we've got a bit. If you are excellently skilled at football, you can still make it, even though you're 5'9".
Yes, that does. That little competitive edge is the only thing I've got going at the moment. Skillful, maybe not quite as much either. I'm probably just a bit of a little terrier at the moment, so that's all I'm getting the game for and holding the 177s in the game.
Mate, fly the flag. Fly the flag. I believe in you. Look, you're carrying us all, my friend. You're doing it for the average size man.
Thank you. I'm trying to hold it together.
Now, we do also like to ask, Jay, is who should we look out for? Like, who are the younger fellas in the D's team who we should keep an eye out for? Because we've had in the past, Brandon Ellis said, look out for Isaac Rankin the week before he came in. We've had Nick Haynes say, watch out for Jake Riccardi. Who you got from the D's? Who are the young fellas we should watch out for?
Yeah, we've got Trent Rivers, who we've just seen a little bit of, but he's a powerful athlete, and he's going to be playing some halfback footy, I reckon, coming up soon. And probably James Jordan as well. He's another inside mid. Tommy Sparrow got his go on the weekend and was pretty good. But, Tom Sparrow, James Jordan, and Trent Rivers, I reckon, the ones to watch.
I like it. Rising star noms in the making. Last question for me, Jay. You are number 41. Where are you going to change your number? Because number 41's not great. Let's be honest. It's not the best footy number. When do you get to change it to, you get a little bit lower, get into the 20s or get into the teens, something like that? Because I can't imagine 41 was your childhood number.
No, that's a great question. Look, I've always worn number 11. Maxi's not leaving anytime soon.
Wrong club, brother. Wrong club.
I wore 21. I got Prusy there on a long-term deal. Not happening. Look, I got the option to change last year, and 40, 47 and 49 didn't do it for me. So,
oh my gosh!
I'm actually a chance. I actually think 41 looks shocking on my back as well. But I'm thinking about if I can't get up to something that I really like, I'm staying in it.
Yeah.
So I might make it mine.
Nice,
good,
that's a good
good.
idea. We are certainly very much on board the number 41 for the rest of the season, and then whatever you
Thanks,
change
mate.
to as well, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Nah, thanks very much, guys.
All right, boys, it's time to talk about who's been doing it all day, and I want to start off this week. I will tell you who's been doing it all day. Grant Birchall. And the thing he's been doing all day is getting the little sneaky handoff from a free kick in the middle. Anyone who's had a free kick in the middle in the last 10 to 15 years, Birch off the half back line has gone, yeah, I'll take that handball. And then he just kicks it long every single time. Like the person who got the free kick couldn't have kicked it long themselves, but it's the best. He's poetry in motion.
I reckon he's probably been doing that for 10 years.
All day.
Easily.
All day, every day for 10 years.
Yeah.
My who's been doing it all day, look, it's an easy one. Nick, Nat and Newey. Mate, this bloke, he's ridiculous. So, like, we talk about Grundy as the premier ruckman and, you know, they kind of battle between Grundy, he's the clear favourite, and then Nick Nat's the next, and Toddy Goldstein. Todd Goldstein, mate, stiff not to get a who's been doing it all day because he's a gun as well. But Nick Nat is a freak show. Like, he's playing a different sport. I don't know what he's doing, but what he's doing is not ruck work. Did you see the first ruck tap to Luke Shuey? Ball went up and he just goes straight behind the back, straight down his throat. He did it about 4 times. 4 times in the game.
He had 10 touches for the day.
10 touches, 34 hit-outs, and his hit-outs are another possession because you know exactly where they're going. It's not like a, you know, it's not just like this risky thing. Tell me what you think about this is called, Justin. Nick Nat's tap, like when he runs in, jumps higher than anyone and gets the tap, that's just as good to look at as Gary Ablett on the run from 40.
It's up there. It's in the same class. He just like hovers and he's just sitting on someone. So he's got so much time to just like genuinely caress it wherever he wants. These other blokes are just getting up there and just trying to whop it out of the air. But he's just palming it down to these blokes. Absolute treat.
It's illegal. It should be illegal. Should be illegal.
Who you got for us, Jess? Who's been doing it all day?
I want to know if you can guess who. He's my man. He's officially my man. He's kicked 16 goals in his first 15 games in the league. Small forward. Any ideas?
First 15. I was going to say Nick Hind.
Correct. My man, Nick Hind.
Look out behind you.
He kicked 3 Kicked 3. Absolute gems too. I think they were all on the left foot. He might be left-footed, but they were on his left foot. 16 touches,
Still
5
counts.
tackles, kicked 3. He's kicked 5 from 4 games this year. Everyone's getting all jazzed up about Butler, but I'm telling you, my man Nick Hind, number 40 at the Saints, he's an absolute weapon. He's quick.
I just like that whenever he touches it, you can call him Nick. Look out behind you. That's so good.
I was just going to say, turns out that this episode of He's Been Doing It All Day is brought to you by blokes who wear numbers in the 40s, Jay Lockhart and Nick Behind.
Yes. He's been doing it all day by blokes in the 40s. I think that's genius.
I love that you've claimed him as your man as well.
He's absolutely my man.
I can't imagine there's a lot of competition for Nick Hind as people's man, but I'm glad that you've taken him.
Mate, just you wait.
Also,
St Kilda have got that many small, mid-sized brunette half-forward flankers from the southeast suburbs of Melbourne. My man Nick Hind, he will stand out from the pack. Don't worry about
that. Also, how's Justin going out on a limb? Bloke's kicked 16 goals in his first 15 games. He's like, look, I'm going out on a limb here, guys.
I'm telling you, mate, goal a game as a small forward. I don't reckon there'd be many bad players who have gone goal a game for the first 15.
That's what I'm saying. That's an unbelievable stat. And you're like going out on a limb. Oh, look, it's like someone going, guys, I'm going out on a limb here. Matt Rowell, my man. He's my man.
Is he mature age recruit?
Look, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. I can try.
He's 26.
My man Hindy, good on him. Mature
Hindy
brain.
was born in 1994.
Smart brain knows how to get it. That's what they don't teach the kids, how to get it. How do you
all,
get?
all running around trying to take mark of the year. Not my man Hindy. Laying tackles, kicking snags.
All right, that's it for another episode of He's Been Doing It All Day, brought to you by the Carlton Draft. Check them out, carltondraftshirts.com. Check us out, Instagram, Been Doing It All Day, and look it up on YouTube, He's Been Doing It All Day. We'll see you for round 10 next week.